Welcome to Hawks Nest. I'm Mark Grogan. I'm joined by my co-analyst Chandler Davis. And today we're going to talk about what's happening in SEMO spring sports. So we're going to talk a little bit about baseball, softball, tennis, and track. And stick around at the end. Me and Matt are going to do a Hawks Nest MLB Insider. So starting out with softball, Chandler, tell us a little bit about what softball's been doing.
Yeah, softball, they haven't played in over a week. They played Iowa State last Tuesday, but they'll return to play tomorrow, actually, when they open up a 3-game series against Martin. This will be their last home series before conference play starts, and yeah.
So the softball team will try to keep their home win series alive against UT Martin, who's coming in hot off a 6-game winning streak. They haven't. Remember, SEMO hasn't actually lost at home since
2021.
Yeah, since 2021, which is insane to think about. So important series for the Red Hawks coming up. Wishing the softball team the best of luck in that. Let's talk a little bit about tennis. OVC champs, baby.
What more could you ask for?
What more could you say? We talked a little bit about last week how they're the heavy favorites to win. They came in, they dominated, waiting to see the seeding for the regional tournament. But big shout out, big congratulations to the tennis team for their back-to-back OVC wins.
Yes, they'll find out who they play this Monday, May 1st at 5 p.m.
There you go. Selection Monday.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of seeding they get. But again, big congratulations to the tennis team. Very cool to see. So, moving on to track.
Yes, track actually competed at Georgia Tech this past weekend. They broke 2 records. They had a lot of personal bests, and they had 12 top 3 finishes. So they did pretty well. And then they'll go to Memphis this weekend to compete at the Memphis Invite. So good luck to them.
Yeah, good luck to that track team. Moving on to baseball, big win against the Salukis on Tuesday.
Always love to beat the Salukis.
Always love to beat the Salukis. Fantastic win. Great game of baseball. Just a little sidebar here. Cape Girardeau, Capitol Field is the only place I know of where you can go to the game, you can get 3 free beers, a free Jimmy John sandwich and chips. I spent $0 when I watched a good game of baseball. Like I love SEMO. Like you literally can't beat that. That's awesome. Anyways, I digress. Great game of baseball. Kyle Miller coming in clutch in the 9th inning with a save. Brett Graber coming in clutch with a 2-out bases loaded single to give the Red Hawks the lead. Fantastic game, fantastic all-around win. This is the team that we all thought we were going to see from the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the year. So I think it's a win like this is really encouraging. It makes me think we're really starting to pull it together for at the end when we really need to, because we got a series against at Lindenwood, which honestly we should sweep, but never underestimate your opponent. But Lindenwood's 9-32 on the season, so we should sweep coming in to this weekend series. And by the way, it's another Fill the Hill Friday. So if you're not coming to getting those 3 free beers, watching a game of Red Hawks baseball, I can't help you.
Make sure to be at Fill the Hill Friday tonight.
Fill the Hill Friday. That's all for Hawks Nest. I'm Mark Grogan, Chandler Davis, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome to MLB Insider Hawks Nest Edition. And before we start, this is being recorded on Thursday, so the series finale against the Giants hasn't happened, and everything that we will be talking about will be from the first 3 games, including last night. Mark, another brutal loss, but there are some positives to take away from it. Paul DeYoung has come back. He is hitting better than he has in the past 5 years. I'm not saying he's going to be the savior of this team because they're just in a bad situation right now, but it's good to see him playing well.
If Paul DeYoung's the savior of this team, then I'm the Pope. Like, I don't like this. Paul DeYoung is not the answer to our problems. The answer to our problems is more starting pitching, which somehow everybody can see but John Mozeliak. So I don't know. This team, I have faith in this team. And I will have faith in this team until they are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. It's not time to hit the panic button yet. It's not even close to that time yet. But at the same time, 9-16 is awful, and
it's one of the worst starts that a Cardinals team has ever had.
Something interesting for you. I think in the history of the MLB, there's only been a handful of teams that have started out the season with our record and also made the playoffs. I think, for reference, it's like 5 or 6.
It's not many.
No, it's not. And so this is just not the start the Cardinals imagined, not the start we imagined. But yet, I can't say I'm surprised. I'm not gonna sit here and say that like I saw this. I saw the Cardinals like sucking this hard, but it's not the slow start with given our pitching staff is just not a surprise.
Our issues almost become, do you think, like a leadership issue? Because think back at the beginning of the season when Ollie Marmol called out Tyler O'Neill for not hustling. Ever since then, it's just been downhill. It almost seems like some of the players just aren't as motivated to play. Has there become a leadership issue in the clubhouse?
Maybe. I mean, I can't, like, I'm not really in a position to make that call, but I'm not going to rule anything out at the same time.
Because as we know, Yachty last year, he's always been a very vocal leader. He's also been a leader by example. And now that he's gone and Albert Pujols is gone, your leaders now in that clubhouse are predominantly Adam Wainwright, Nolan Arenado, and Paul Goldschmidt, who we know those three really aren't very vocal. They're very much a leader by example.
Yeah, I mean maybe. And I don't really think I hear everybody screaming to fire Marmol, fire I don't.
Yeah, I don't hop on those trains because those guys have it so much more difficult than anybody else. We sit on our couches and we complain about stuff. We have no idea what goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah, I don't think it's time. I don't think the fire Marmol, even if he might lose his job over this, if this continues, like if how we've been playing continues. But you can't pin the blame 100% on him. Like you play with the cards that you're dealt, and right now we have an oversaturated outfield, a lack of starters.
Yeah, speaking of that, Jordan Walker being sent down yesterday,
yeah,
kind of a surprise. Everybody talks about his batting average was high, but you saw his outfield play. He just wasn't very comfortable out there in the outfield. There was no way he was going to play at Oracle Park because of how the right field plays. And we saw last night some outfield troubles with Alec Burleson and Lars Nootbaar.
Oh my God, that drop was brutal.
Right now, everything that can go wrong for the Cardinals is going wrong. And I feel like Jordan Walker being sent down was something that needed to happen for him to try to get more reps, more ABs, try to get more comfortable since he wasn't playing as much because of his defensive struggles. But we've seen last night that right in the ninth inning, there was a big rally. It came up short. Paul Goldschmidt had a wonderful day, except for the double play at the end. 2 home runs and a double. Just a really good game for him. Starting pitching, he's gotten better. Jack Flaherty is pitching well, which is always nice to see. I know we said last week things are trending up, and then it almost seems like things have gotten worse, but there's small, very small, minute signs of improvement everywhere.
Yeah, it's just a lot of our struggles is just a struggle for consistency. Like you see with O'Neill, I mean that guy is up and down week by week, day by day. Hitting with runners in scoring position has been a struggle all year. Getting quality starts.
I believe they still only have 2 quality starts.
Yeah, and when you're only getting 2 quality starts out of your first 20 or so games, like that's not a recipe for success.
And it doesn't help that the other teams in the Central are playing well too. The Pirates are playing out of their mind. The Brewers are playing well. The Cubs are playing about kind of how most people intended them to play.
Like the Cubs, yeah.
And then the Reds are kind of falling back, and then the Cardinals are right there, right above the Reds. So they're, I believe, 8 games out of first place right now. Of course, standings don't really matter all that much. I don't try to look at standings till after Labor Day like you're supposed to, but if it gets to a point where they're 10 games out, at least coming out of April, they're going to have to find a way to scratch and claw their way back.
Yeah, I agree. And regarding the Jordan Walker situation, I think the decision is a little frustrating, just because he had found quite a bit of success already in the majors. I mean, you see, he had that 12-game hitting streak, and then he started slumping, and then he kind of started to seem like he was figuring it out, and then he gets pulled to he gets pulled for those 2 games, apparently to try to fix his ground ball rate, and then he gets optioned, and it's frustrating to see. At the same time, he's young. He's only 20. Excuse me. He's only 20 years old, so
he has time to develop.
I'd like to see him develop in the majors instead of AAA, but I'm not the one calling the shots. So
where do the Cardinals go from here? You have the series finale today, this afternoon. Then you go play the Dodgers. and then you have a home series with the Angels. Where do they go from here?
I mean, every loss, we're at the point now where like every loss just feels so crushing, right? Like every loss just seems like the worst loss yet. Right? It just seems brutal. It's starting to get late early. We desperately need a win. We need a win. So just like our life depends on it.
Need to start off with a win, then we need to move on to getting a series win. Because still haven't won a series since the Blue Jays back in the first series of the year.
It's impossible for us to win the opening game of a series.
And that's out of the question. And so it's a struggle right now. I believe in this team. You believe in this team. I'm sure a whole bunch of people still believe in this team because up and down, this lineup is the deepest we've seen in a long time. Starting pitching is starting to get better. Bullpen is still pretty good. Genesis Cabrera is pitching lights out. Ryan Helsley pitched well other than the home run he gave up. Jordan Hicks last night, his slider was tight. His stinker was on point.
Yeah, Hicks actually, I was kind of losing my mind when Marmol brought him in a high leverage situation.
In a high leverage situation.
I was kind of losing my mind, but his stuff looked really good and he was hitting the zone. I mean, you can't really fault him for the drop fly ball leading to the wild pitch, and well, I mean, I guess you can fault him for the wild pitch, but
you know he's going to overcook something at least once or twice,
and that's the problem. That's why. I mean, I remember him complaining. I remember him whining at the beginning of the year about still wanting to be a starter. It's like, well, maybe hit the zone, and then we could talk about wanting to be a starter.
But if he's on like he was last night, minus his few wild pitches, that's a dangerous arm. A 103 sinker with that movement, and then that tight slider.
Yeah, his stuff is unhittable. If he can throw strikes, his stuff is absolutely unhittable. It's crazy what he can make that baseball do. Like it's watching him pitch is fun. Like it's legit. It's just.
It's like a wiffle ball.
It's like he makes that thing move like a wiffle ball, and I love watching him pitch. But I mean, the defense didn't really help him out last night, and
that's been a struggle for this series against the Giants. It's defense, which we've known has always been really consistent for St. Louis, has had a little bit of inconsistency. He had the error last night in the outfield. He had Tommy Edmonds' error the night before.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said earlier, everything that can go wrong right now is going wrong. Even on the hitting side, you had that double play last night on the rocket back to the pitcher.
Yeah, I don't think that defense will be a trend that continues. I think it should.
No, that's something that'll be fixed very quickly.
That's just kind of an anomaly. It happens. Errors happen, but it's just. Yeah, watching this team right now is infuriating, and I think it'll get better before it gets worse, or it might get a lot worse.
We'll just have to see.
We'll have to see.
Thank you for joining us on MLB Insider Hawks Nest Edition. See you next time.